Hi, I'm Maria Mandarino, certified Enneagram practitioner, certified spiritual director, licensed acupuncturist, and certified Bach flower practitioner. I want to thank you for being here. If you celebrate Christmas, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And whatever you do celebrate at this season, I wish you all the joy and light and presence that this season provides us with. I wanted to apologize for being AWOL for a few weeks. Earlier this month, I had some unexpected surgery. I had an emergency appendectomy. A little bit of complications, but doing okay now. And then some surprise events. While I was post-surgical, I learned that I needed to find new office space as well. So I'm going to be in the midst of moving my acupuncture clinic shortly. So be patient with me. I may not be weekly with the episodes for the next couple of weeks at least. So I'll try my best. And I'll tell you, my plan was until, you know how plans go, right? Um, my plan before all this happened was to create 9 episodes on how the 9 types can deal with holiday stress. So maybe we'll look at that next year. But since Christmas is already upon us, I thought that instead I would kind of condense this into looking at the high side for each type in one episode, which is what we're going to do today. Look at the high side, your gifts through the Enneagram, through accessing your true self, your higher self, and what you can bring into the holiday season that will hopefully help you mitigate stress. And also, I'm going to be sharing prayers. This is one of my favorite books. I'm actually going to be reading from this today. Heart of the Enneagram by Sandra Smith actually, and Chris Copeland. Chris Copeland was my one of my instructors when I did my training with the Enneagram, and I also had the a wonderful opportunity to take a course with Sandra after that. So I love this book. I've been using it before I did my certification, actually, in the Enneagram. It's a little book, but I go back to it often, and I usually will pull it out when I work with people in spiritual direction too. So we're going to be drawing from the wisdom, some of the wisdom in that book today. Um, so I do want to speak first about the season, and you know that I integrate a few different wisdom traditions in my work. Being an acupuncturist, the 5 element system is one of those systems of sacred geometry that that I'll go to and bring in and almost braid into my work in spiritual direction with the Enneagram. It's not the only system of sacred geometry that I've been known to mix in, as if you've seen some of my episodes, you know that. But we are at the solstice, which just passed a few days ago. In the 5 element cycle, we're between the season of metal and water. We're now at the beginning of water element as of the solstice. And the generation cycle or the creation cycle in Chinese medicine and 5 element theory goes in a clockwise circle. And it begins with water and it moves around the elements and it comes down back around to metal, which is the end of the cycle. And if you look at those elements, we can kind of understand how one generates the other until we get to metal and until metal turns into water, because that really can't be logically explained. We call it a radical transformation. The movement of metal into water is a radical transformation. I say it's a mystical transition, um, and it requires faith. And you know, this is a season that no matter you know how you celebrate the season, you know, faith and the the mystical experience that comes out of waiting in darkness for the return of the light at the solstice, right? These are concepts that all traditions really borrow from. So, and it's there in the 5 element system as well, right? So this idea of metal turning into water really requires you to just be in the wonder of, wow, I don't know how this happens, but it happens. We have this transition. Water is associated with birth as well in the 5-element system, and metal is associated with death. So if you think about that transition, rebirth, moving from death, whatever, literal death or the many deaths that we experience in life through transition, right? Things die off all the time, right? Our cells die off all the time, and they're reborn, right? So there's this mystical experience in life where this ending that isn't really an ending, but in the gap between one thing ending and one thing beginning, in that gap is the mystic. So, so I want to leave you with that as I go into the work in this book. But we are in a season of mystery, however you celebrate it, right? So, my hope for you is that you enjoy the beauty of the mystery. And not having to know everything. So, and I say that as a 5 because, we spend most of the year thinking we have to know everything. And so, yeah, metal into water is big for type 5. So if you're type 5 and you're listening, yep, sit with that one. All right. So I'm going to begin with type 3. I'm going to be going back and forth between some notes here. So type 3, if you lead with type 3, I want you to just, in this holiday season especially, but not only now, I want you to remember your gifts and try to stay in your true self. So if you find yourself overwhelmed, stressed, your buttons are pushed, wherever on the spectrum that falls for you, right? 'Tis the season, right? I want you to consider your gifts and what it is to be in your true self. So for type 3, that means you are inspiring, right? At this inspiring season, especially, right? You're inspiring. So remember that gift, seize that gift, expand that gift. You are positive. You are the positive, among the positive people on the Enneagram. You are engaging. You're delightful conversationalists. So it's a good season to be able to do that with people. And at your higher expression, you're competent. So inspiring, positive, engaging, competent. That's your essence, right? That's your truth. So stay connected to those qualities. So, and here's what Sandra Smith and Chris Copeland offer as a prayer. So they give a name to what I would call God. Divine love, divine consciousness. For each type, it's a little different. So this one is divine love. I thank you for the motivation and energy to work hard and succeed, as well as for the ease with which I can engage and inspire others. Resting in your boundless love, help me to trust that I am more than my doing and greater than the images I create. I long to be my deepest, truest self, but I sometimes fear that if I strip away the masks, I will not find anyone there. Give me the courage to lay aside my constant doing so that I may receive the gift of your infinite love for me, which is not dependent on my accomplishments. Help me to know that underneath the roles I inhabit, at the core of my being, I am loved simply for who I am. Okay, so type 3s, that one's for you. All right, type 2, your gifts, the expression of your true self, your true essence. You're positive, you're enthusiastic, you're friendly and warm and sensitive to others. So when you find yourself a little overwhelmed or stressed in this season, think about those qualities that, again, are your essence. They are your true self, right? And lean into those rather than the temptations of the shadow, right? So you're positive, enthusiastic, friendly, warm, and sensitive to others. And I'm going to add to that, remember to receive. Okay, so allow yourself to receive. So the prayer from Heart of the Enneagram for type 2 is loving lap. As I rest in your care, anchor me in my humility, that I may know myself more fully, honoring my limitations as well as my gifts. I desire to be real. I desire to be discerning in what is mine to do and not to do. Empty me of my need for approval and my lists of all who need me. Guide me in the ways of being receptive, that I may participate more fully in my own life, offering my self-compassion as well as others. Dissolve my pride, Holy One, that I may be more available to my own needs and to the present unfolding without agendas. Open my heart to the support of others. Remind me of my interdependence so that I no longer inflate my abilities, but am grounded in the reality of who I am. Grant me a willingness to be open to what arises, that I may find my freedom in your unconditional love. Okay, so next up is type 4. And the gifts that you bring to this season and every day, the gifts of your true self and your essence, are that you are creative. It's a beautiful season to create too. So you bring an emotional intuition at your highest expression. There are just things that you know. And you are the type that will think out of the box. Your uniqueness will, you just do that with ease. Okay, so thinking out of the box. And again, what a fantastic season to think out of the box, right? And possibilities. And possibilities also belong to 7. But in this case, the creative, emotional piece is more, more in the realm of the 4 and the thinking out of the box. The eye for beauty that you have, okay? And I'm going to add to that, like even in this mystic time of unknowing that can be difficult for some of the types, isn't difficult for you. Like you do this. This is your sandbox, okay? So this is almost like your season, okay? So a brilliant eye for beauty. And you are great with the unusual, okay? So, so make room for that. Make room for all of this. Creativity, your emotional intuition, your ability to think out of the box, your eye for beauty, and being so good with the unusual. And realize, Fours, that not everyone else can do those things, at least not easily, okay? So we need all 9 of you. We need all 9 of the types, but we really need you to, it almost brings the holidays, you know, that energy of a 4, of a healthy 4, brings in the holiday energy. So the prayer from the heart of the Enneagram for type 4s is to the weaver of beauty. Thank you for seeking me, for never stopping to seek me. Open me to the intimate connection between us, that I may rest in your grace. Empty me of all the ways I abandon myself and these self-rejections that evoke shame. Soften my comparing mind, that I may know gratitude for what I have and who I am. Guide me in the path of appreciation for the beauty and possibility that surrounds me and that is within me. Sacred source of my life, ground me in my inner calm and remind me of the holy and beautiful in the ordinary. Open my eyes and my heart to see your grace-filled touch in all my life. From this seeing, I know there really are no ordinary moments, for all is sacred. So that is the prayer for our type 4s. Type 6s, your gifts, your true self, your essence that you bring to the season and every season. You are imaginative, you are quick-witted, and you are gifted problem solvers and troubleshooters. So during the holidays, when other people might be stressed by the things that don't go right, and oh my gosh, souffle fell or whatever. um, realize that you bring the energy to create a solution to a problem, to a struggle that others don't necessarily have easy access to. So give yourself the courage to bring that. Okay. So type sixes, imaginative, quick-witted, gifted problem solvers and troubleshooters that we need in times that could be stressful and in environments that could be stressful during the holidays. So your prayer is to the sacred ground of being. You are within me and beyond me, forever present. Your love enfolds me as I go about my days. I am not alone. My suspicions fade when held in your unwavering assurance of me. Empty me now of my anxieties, doubts, and imaginings. Assuage my fears. Create in me a refuge for trusting myself. Remind me that all I need is within me as I stand on my own solid foundation, knowing your steady ground is with me. I move forward in an uncertain world. Guide me as I travel the path of courage, so I may lean into myself when the waters are troubled and have faith in the unfolding. Hold me in the fearful times, hold me in the fearless times. In your holy ground, I rise to offer my full and powerful self in each moment. So type sixes, okay? Bring your courage. Okay, the next one that we're up to is type 5. Your gifts that you bring to the holidays and all the time, all seasons. Your true self, your essence, the things that you kind of naturally bring, unless you're in shadow, right? These are all of these things are the things we naturally bring when we've done our work. You are thoughtful, you are curious, you are pragmatic, and you have an ability to observe and hold all and just kind of hold it in this loving, neutral presence. We call it omniscience, right? Just the way God can hold everything, and just that greatness of your spirit when you are in the fullness of your essence. So the prayer for type 5, abundant and never-ending source. I give thanks for my thoughtful and curious mind, as well as a continuing hunger for learning. Help me to engage more with others so that I may discover the gift of your overflowing energy and resources come not simply from within, but from the world around me. Give me the courage to reach out more to people and to trust that by being present with others, I will receive far more life energy than I can imagine. Grounded in your unending source, may I have the generosity to share my insights with those I meet and the courage to offer them my heart. Okay. So another way I would say that is let your light shine. Okay. Don't think that the candle's going to burn out, because it can't. All right. Next one up is type 7. And I want you to remember your gifts and your true selves. So type 7s are going to kind of want to move too fast, right? So I'd encourage you to slow down in presence, okay? But your gifts, the wonderful things that you bring to all of us at the holidays and always, your playfulness, your imaginativeness. And again, this is the season for imaginative things, right? hope, right? So playful, imaginative nature. You're a visionary, and this is a season of visionaries, I think. And you have a beautiful curiosity that ties into your playfulness. So playful, imaginative, you're a visionary with great curiosity. So the prayer from Heart of the Enneagram for you is holy creativity. Your love and grace knows no limits. You offer the completion I seek. Gently guide me to my fulfillment, awaiting me when I rest in the calm of the present moment. My mind seeks such calm. Empty me now of my obsessive planning and all the ideas that overwhelm me. Allow my energy to deepen me and not scatter me, so that I experience the gifts offered in each moment, gifts that lead to my wholeness. Guide me to my heart, that I may feel not only my joy, but the richness of my sadness. Deep down, I recognize that it is my sadness that I seek. It is limitation that I desire. I'll read that again. Deep down, I recognize that it is my sadness that I seek. It is limitation I desire. For both bring me home to my deeper self, where I find the freedom to be me. Guide me on the path to self-reverence. So I really like that one for sevens, because that slowing down and feeling and being in sadness when it's what's there will definitely bring you to a different experience, right? All right, so type 9, yes, type 9. The gifts that you bring, the expression of your true self and your essence, is tolerance. And your steadiness and calm nature. The way that you are present to others, and the way that you are a good listener, and the way you can see multiple viewpoints. Around the holidays, that these can be serious gifts, right? So peacemaker, mediator, it stands to reason. But I want you to really lean into those, because nines can go to the other place when they're stressed by the holidays, right? So you don't want to go into sloth and numbing out, right? So stay connected to your gifts, your tolerance, being steady and calm, being present, being a good listener, and seeing multiple viewpoints. So the prayer for the 9, one who sees me and knows me. For my gentleness of spirit, openness of heart, and ability to remain steady and calm, I give you thanks. While I long to be seen and known by others, help me recognize that by going along to get along and not sharing my own opinions and desires, I reinforce my sense of invisibility. Give me the wisdom to recognize that by owning and offering my own deepest feelings, I will not lose my inner peace, but will create an opportunity for true intimacy and connection with others. Grant me the grace to not forget myself, to choose to be fully alive, and to know beyond a doubt that I matter. So that one's for the 9s. And last, not last, we have one more behind this one. Type 8. I want you to remember your gifts, your true self, and the essence that you bring during the season and always. Your generous nature. When an 8 gives, we all feel it. So your generous nature, your dependability, your willingness to initiate and engage, and the energy that you bring, the fact that you're energetic. So these are things to celebrate and lean into during the holidays. Your generosity, your dependability, you're willing to initiate and engage any energy that you bring. It's a robust energy. So stay connected to that. Oops. And so the prayer for the 8, loving protector. Watch my back as I wade into the waters of waiting, and hold me as I delay my impact. Empty me of my need to assert myself or blame others when life feels out of control. Soften the walls surrounding my heart, the rigid boundaries, my strong opinions. Embrace me as I wait, so that I may know the richness in stillness and open my heart to the affection of others. May I be present in each moment without judgment and without fear, knowing that you have my back. Ground me in your gentle and loving presence, that I may be gentle and loving with myself and others. Remind me each day that we are all one, and that in our unity we find hope, and in vulnerability we discover loving support. So, so type 8's kind of similar to the 2's. It's what you bring. It's these gifts of your essence, and also the beauty of what you'll be able to receive and reap. So, yeah. Okay, and then the last of the types is type 1. And the gifts that you bring, your true self, your essence, you are diplomatic, you are organized and fair. And if things are a little heated around the holidays, as often they can end up being in, at least some households, we need the higher side of 1. We need that essence of our healthy ones, right? The diplomacy that you can bring around the table, the organization that you can bring, and the fairness that you bring, which is your expression of love. So thank you for bringing those things and bringing your essence. And then your prayer from Heart of the Enneagram is divine grace for a willingness to work hard, a desire for ongoing improvement, and a passion for fairness. I give you thanks. Help me to choose the peace that comes with accepting things as they are, rather than always seeing them as I think they should be. Give me the courage to relax my judging mind, trusting that everything is inherently perfect as it is. Show me the path of play, that I might release my tension and fall gently into the abundant grace of your loving embrace. So I know for some type 1s that I've worked with and still work with, the holidays, I think a lot of people get caught up in the perfection of the holidays, and I think it's harder for the ones to not get caught up in that. So try to be aware when you're doing that, lean into that prayer, and remember your gifts and your essence of diplomacy, organization, and fairness, and how you express love. So that pretty much wraps up my review for essentially the strengths of the types, the 9 types, and the prayers for each type. So I hope you find that material useful. I apologize for it being a little late, as it's Christmas Eve already. Take what you need from the information. Remember that we never get it all right, ever, but definitely at the holidays, right? So stay in the moment, and remember that it's all constant correction. And that's a phrase from one of my dearest teachers who passed away a few years ago, Qigong teacher of mine, Jerry McGurr. McGurr, if you're out there listening on the airwaves, it's one of the most important things I think he taught us is constant correction, right? So the Enneagram gives us that opportunity for constant correction, because we're never always going to get it right, because we're humans, and that's why we're here. We're here to learn and reshape and reform and learn and grow. So yeah, constant correction. Remember that phrase, remember McGurr. And I do wish you all the love and peace and joy of this season. If you would please remember to like this episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that little alert bell so you're reminded of when new episodes come up. Please share your comments. Share the video with others who you think can benefit from the information. And in the comments below, if you would also let me know what type of content you would want to hear more about in 2024. I'm definitely open to, this is all about you guys. So let me know what you need, okay? And if I can meet that, I surely will. My holiday wish for you all and for those you love is to be well, be present, and be in alignment with your divinity, which is the highest side of your type. So remember, each type is one of the 9 expressions of divinity. Okay. So again, if you're interested in more about this little book, it's a tiny little book, but it's rich with information. Part of the Enneagram, it has some really neat little exercises in there too. Sandra Smith, Christopher Copeland, fantastic teachers of the Enneagram. And that should do it for this episode. Hopefully I'll see you in a week, but cut me some slack if it's 2 because I'm still recovering and I do have to move an office. So, all righty. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Happy holidays and enjoy the season. Bye-bye.